So I recently watched Little Miss Sunshine. It's a pretty good movie. The side character, the guy played by Arkin, actually won an Oscar for this movie, and he only has like 14 minutes of screen time. If you want to watch this, it's currently streaming on Disney Plus. I think it's a pretty solid movie. Paul Dano's also really good here, and he's only 22 at the time, which makes it even more bizarre, as you may have seen on the internet a few months ago. Quentin Tarantino decided to criticize him for his acting, yet he does really good in this movie. He's only 22, and he doesn't really speak in this movie because of part of the plot. So he's got to rely on his facial expressions and stuff like that. And I think he does an amazing job. This movie follows a dysfunctional family that they have to work together because they want the best for their young child. I believe she's like 7 years old here, and she wants to go to a pageant. So, there's a suicidal, depressed brother who's also struggling with being gay. There is, the depressed kid who is trying to work towards a goal, and that unfortunately does not end up going his way. There's the dad that's struggling with money, and then there's the grandpa who's struggling with drug addiction. And they all have to work together to, do this. I think the family did amazing, and they only used F slur once in this movie, but it honestly fits the character. So this is one of the times I won't critique it because it literally feels like something that this guy would say. Because he's homophobic and sexist and kind of a sleazebag in this movie. He's supposed to be, kind of like, oh, like the dirty grandpa that can't control what he says, but he's not exactly dislikable. Still not a fan of him, but I didn't hate him. However, the dad, he's like body shaming his daughter, like his 7-year-old daughter, about how, oh, you shouldn't eat ice cream. Do you ever see fat girls win beauty pageants and shit like that? And makes her feel bad about wanting to eat ice cream as a little kid. Sure, he supposedly has a somewhat redemption arc by the end of the movie, but no, I don't like him. I think he's a piece of shit. He's just rude the entire movie to everybody. Um, so problems happen throughout the movie, like, oh, the car breaks down, stuff like that. And the car is actually fucked up throughout the entire movie because the thing that would fix the car would have took too long to get to where they need to go, which is California. So they gotta like push it every time they want to get in the car and just hope for the best. They end up making it to the beauty pageant, and it turns out that the daughter actually has like a really, really inappropriate song and dance routine that the grandpa taught her, which the grandpa also passed away on the road trip from a drug overdose probably about 50 minutes into the movie. Um, he was something else. They end up like straight up stealing his body from the hospital because they're like, oh, you got to do this and this and this, and it's gonna like make it so she can't do the beauty pageant. So uh, they just decide to steal his body, and yeah, that's a very crazy plot point that they do. It, I think it's a little weird, but it does make sense that the family, for some reason, doesn't know the dance routine, and it just makes you very uncomfortable. I think it very much is a critique of beauty pageants because they do critique beauty pageants kind of subtly. Uh, a little subtle way to do it, but like they have a throwaway line early on in the movie about beauty pageants, and I think they're kind of weird too. A beauty competition that's just kids being judged for their looks. That feels like it's just gonna lead to insecurity issues. Not to mention, it's weird. It's just weird. I think it's a pretty decent movie. I do think it's a little crazy that he won an Oscar for it because while it was a good performance, I don't know. I don't think it was an Oscar worthy performance, but I'm not the person that gives out the Oscars.